Hang on. Where do I look? Oh, over there. Nice. So I'm here with Abe for clinic update number 3. So a few things have been happening lately. First of all, I've come up with an amazingly bad pun. So if I put you on the treadmill, I'm definitely going to say you're taking steps in the right direction. Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, on to more important news. Abe is he's been working with us now since March. Abe's an occupational therapist, and he's been helping me out a lot with the rehab side of things. So over the last 9 months or so, I've been studying a lot, and we've been doing, my arm's getting sore. I've been studying a fair bit, doing a new therapy course called Functional Neuro Orthopedic Rehabilitation, which is a mouthful. But what it essentially is a protocol that's the latest and greatest from the evidence-based approach, from everything that's physio, chiro, exercise physiology, massage. So it's rolled all of the top-level research from each of those fields into one clear and concise way of looking after people, and doing that we've certainly noticed some really big changes with people's pain. So what used to take me sort of 15 visits, we're now getting done in 5, and that's largely due to Abe helping me out with that as well. So the foundations or the basics of the FNOR approach is that first of all, we really need to focus on getting you out of pain, because if you're in pain, it makes strengthening up the area or fixing the cause of the pain quite hard. So the goal is to minimize pain as much as possible. Step 2 is about improving flexibility and mobility. So we find the restrictions or what muscles are too tight, what joints are too tight, and do a little bit of work on that to try and get your body moving better. Because once you're pain-free and you're moving better, the rehab or the exercises to help stabilize and strengthen up the area become a lot more effective at fixing the cause of the problem in the first place. And then that way we're finding that the pain's going and it's staying gone. Now, one problem that I found pretty early on is when we started to change to the FNOR style approach, I was spending like 20-30 minutes on cases with you guys. And unfortunately, if I were to bill appropriately for my time with you, we'd be looking at sort of $120 to $150 consults, and that's just it's too much out of pocket. So that's when we got Abe on. So Abe's, as an occupational therapist, he does the second half of the FNOR work, and sometimes the first half. But a lot of the mobility work and the exercise stability work is where Abe fits in. So with me doing the get you out of pain and then mobility work, and then Abe doing the stability work at the end, that makes what I do last a lot longer, and it also speeds up the healing process. So to try and make it a bit more affordable for you guys, we're trying to make that a gap-free consult. So you're getting sort of triple the amount of therapy for no extra out-of-cost or out-of-pocket expense on your behalf, providing you've got health coverage for occupational therapy, which if you've got CARI, you pretty much do. Abe's pretty clever. He also does a few other things. He does some of the brain work that I do, but more so for kids. So kids have or can have a thing called primitive reflexes. Or we've all got them, but the primitive reflexes should switch off as we start to age. And sometimes, why am I talking about it? Abe, do you want to talk about primitive? Go for it.
Yeah, cool. So primitive reflexes, everyone's born with a set of these reflexes, and they help the baby get through that first couple of years of life. So as the brain starts to develop and different parts of the brain switch on, they switch these reflexes off. So if they're not switched off, then it causes symptoms like anxiousness.
Beep. Don't. We'll have to cut that. No. Mate, that was beautiful. You said that. Just go.
So you put me on the spot.
So what did you get up to?
So
I'm 100% not editing.
Nah.
Alright.
I've got an ebook.
Alright, guys. So we got lost. Abe swore, and then we realised we had to edit it out, and neither of us can remember what stage we're in. So we're just going to talk about primitive reflexes again. Abe, take it away.
Okay, so babies are born with a set of primitive reflexes. And they sort of help the baby get through that first year or two of life. Now, as the brain starts to develop and different parts of the brain start switching on, these reflexes are switched off because we don't need them anymore. So we know that if these reflexes haven't switched off, then it makes it very hard for a child to learn new things, to develop socially, behaviorally, and emotionally as well. So what I've done is I've developed an ebook specifically for a reflex called your Moro reflex. So if this reflex hasn't switched off, it's the kids that get quite stressed or they get quite anxious as well. So if you're keen, if that sounds like your kid, and if you're keen to read this ebook that I've created, it's a 3-step guide to de-stress your child. So it talks a little bit about the Moro reflex and how to switch it off and integrate it and how to test for it as well. So if you're keen to have a read of that, shoot us through an email and we'll get that out to you.
That was good, mate. You didn't swear that time.
Cool.
Yeah, good job. Good job. I think that was everything that I wanted to talk about. I'm still yelling at banks to try and get me money for the laser, and that's should be done into this week. Fingers crossed. I hate filling out forms. The other thing as well, so I've realised that while this is all fine and grand in terms of the FNOR approach, some of you probably still don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So I'm going to make a video on what a FNOR style therapy session looks like with one of my mates who's coming with low back pain, who's consented to a video, and I'll try not to tease him too much. I think that's it. All right, cool. Cheers.
Yep.